Hello everybody, and I'm here again with Emanuel Show. Thank you so much for watching the Emanuel Show. Today's episode is about a young lady, about a friendship, about a strength that she has. From the opportunity that ever since I was introduced to her a few years ago, she's had a fight in her. This girl got power in her, and I want you all to get to know her and love her as the friend that I have in her. And enough about me, enough. I'm just gonna jump straight into the interview. Hi, her name is Zara Northover. Zara Northover. Write that down, underline it, add her as a friend on Facebook, follow on Instagram. So Zara, tell people who you are. Who is Zara? What do you want to tell people about yourself?
So it's actually really funny. There's a dentist that, I travel to go to my dentist. I have a dentist in DC, got a dentist in Boston, and my dentist in Boston that supported me all through college, he would always tell people, have you met Zara? And I'm like, what does that even mean? And he was like, she is an experience. You are. And that's,
you got it.
So that's now, I was like, that is perfect. That is me. Like, Zara Northover is an experience, right? Because I love people, I love to help people, and I just want to, I feel like I was literally born to be an inspiration and impact this world in some way. And even before my coach died, because I am a 2008 Olympian, I am the owner of Moving in Faith, a brand that started while I was competing internationally. And I'm, a mortgage banker at Quicken Loans. I am.
Girl, you answered all the questions first. Oh my God.
I do a lot. So I'm an experienced and a fighter and someone that fights for others. And that's why my fight is so strong, because others are my why. Not even myself. It's other people.
Okay, since you said everything on my questions, we're gonna go back and we're gonna take it a little bit slower. Growing up, the young girl, Zara Northover. Who are you? How did you grow up? What is it about that young girl? How did you get that fight?
So we have stories on stories on stories. So but to try to sum it all up, my mom she was a single mom raising me. I am one of 21 kids and 7 different mothers. My father, being all of 4'11", was just a man of let's just say he was rambunctious and had a presence. So I do feel like I did get that from him. But ultimately what happened was, because it was just me and my mom, and she has a thick Jamaican accent, it caused me to grow up early. I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, and it was hard for her to find a job. It was hard for her to, in New York, it was hard for her to get interviews. It was hard for her to get an apartment. And I remember her telling me what to say on the phone when I'm all of 10 years old. And I would be doing the calls because I don't sound Jamaican, and just to make sure that she could get a place. So in the back of my head, I'm thinking, why? Why do we have to do that? Why don't people just accept you for how you sound and what you're doing right now? Why do I have to be that voice, right? But then I was that voice. I could be that voice. I think that's really where it started for me. From the athletic standpoint, 4 years old, so even earlier. I remember I was in the gym and I saw this name, Vinny Testaverde, on the wall, and I remember saying, Mr. B, how did I get my name on the wall? And he just looked at me and he was like, you're going to be a star, I could see it. And then before I knew it, I was just constantly in athletics and competing and just winning everything that I tried to do or be.
All right. So growing up, you got this fight, you in everything, you got your hands in a lot. People already see the stardom. What brings you to Michigan?
Michigan! Detroit!
How did you end up here? Tell me about it.
So I've lived everywhere. I've lived in North Carolina, I've lived in Flagstaff, Arizona. I got my degree from Northeastern University in Boston, obviously a master's in Eastern. And but what happened was, there was a coach that saw a video of me circulating the internet, right? And he said that, I think that I could help this girl make the Olympics. So it was 2007 at the time, and when my friend called to tell me that, I was like, I'm packing my car up. I packed up my little 2001 Ford Focus with all of my stuff. I drove from Massachusetts to Arizona, and I competed, and lo and behold, he did help me make it the 2008 Olympic Games, and then he got the job at the University of Michigan the following year. So after the Olympics, now I'm like, well, if he's leaving, I'm not staying in Arizona. What am I staying here for? So I decided to pack up all my stuff. I literally packed up what I could pack up in the little 2001 Focus, and I sold all of my stuff that was in the studio apartment, and I drove to Michigan and had no place to stay. So I reached out to a Christian organization, Athletes in Action, and I said, is there somebody that's willing to put me up? And I stayed with strangers for all of 3 months. And they became family. They became my Michigan mom and dad. I competed at the University of Michigan to try to make the 2012 Olympic Games. That same year, I lost my father, my brother, and my coach. And when I had every reason to fail, right, I still tried to find a way to succeed. And I did not make the Olympic Games. I threw 16.99. I needed to throw 17.2. But ultimately, what I did find was that moving in faith, my brand was all over London. I'm talking about athletes, Taekwondo, Jamaican Olympic champion. I'm seeing runners, I'm seeing sprinters, I'm seeing the Jamaican US team, I'm seeing fans all wearing Moving in Faith shirts that I had created and wristbands. And I thought, man, look at God. Like, I wasn't meant to be there, but I was meant to be there. A form of me, something I started. And the coach that passed away with cancer had said to me before he died, your mission is beyond the circle. That circle that I throw the shot put in, he was like, your purpose is beyond it. This is just the initial platform to get you where you're supposed to go. So just keep moving in faith.
Oh, I love that. I love how you jumped straight into that. I was going to ask you about it. Now that I know everybody's wearing it, this is something. You didn't bring a shirt. You have a. I got my wristband. Okay, cool. We're going to zoom in. You want to try to zoom in on the moving in faith. Let's zoom in. We got it. Moving in faith. I want you all to know that brand. The brand is in and of itself. It's something that I had the opportunity to watch her grow and how it grew. I was really, really inspired. I am very, very inspired by that. And I think that it's something, it's definitely a movement. Like whatever you do, you're moving in faith. The Emanuel Show is a movement of faith. But I don't have money to get this on. Somebody's here filming this out of the goodness of his heart. And to be quite honest, I'm very, very thankful. Movement in faith it should be a national term. It should be coined because at the end of the day, especially when you're embarking on a new journey, that's the movement of faith. That's very much exactly what it is. So, bravo to you in that. So, tell me about this. You mentioned how you started the clothing brand. You didn't get a chance to compete in the 2012 games, but you're still here in Michigan. You went to Eastern, got your master's degree. The next step for you was to get a job at Quicken Loans. Now, how you got this job, you got to tell me. Retell me.
That is a story in itself. So, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, right? Like, they always tell you when you graduate, you got to be the woman that negotiates your salary and go for the gold, right? So, like, I applied my first time. I got an interview. I thought we were good at Quicken Loans, and ultimately, they said I wasn't the right fit, just didn't work out. So then I applied again, and again, and again, 77 times again. And I didn't. And then a friend of mine was actually at Grand Circus in downtown Detroit, and he had said, Dan Gilbert's down here. So I was like, okay, not even 5 minutes. I'm at Grand Circus, and I chased Dan Gilbert down. And I'm like, Mr. Gilbert!
You weren't after a billionaire. Okay. So next time I see a billionaire, I'm going to have to go run and chase after somebody, because at the end of the day, that's just what we got to do to get going. So
I chased
you go chase after Dan Gilbert.
I chased him down, and I said, we need to take a picture. So he's looking at me, he really kind of had that deer in headlights, like what?
Oh my God, this girl. I can picture his face right now.
But then I told him, like, I've been trying to get a job at your company for so long, and I'm just not sure what's going on. And he was like, you're exactly the energy that we need. That's exactly what he told me. So I was like, we're going to take a picture. Because ultimately, and that's a pro tip, people aren't going to remember who you are, but they'll remember that they took a picture with you, so they have to correlate something. So I always take a picture with anybody that I meet, and then I email them later with the picture. And every time I email them, I send the picture.
Okay.
So I emailed him, I told him about my dreams of the Olympic Games and how I came from New York, and I did all this stuff, and he connected me with some people, and still ultimately didn't get to the point of getting to the job right away, but eventually I did. And I do think that it spun off from, like meeting him and then being persistent and making it happen.
So now you're in Quicken Loans. You got the job with the, of course, recommendation of Dan. And where are you now in that?
So
I know you have a big footprint.
They passed up on me 77 times, so you know I had to make a name for myself early.
Again, 78, baby. It happens this way.
So as soon as I got hired, I said, like in the back of my mind, I went to training mode. Like when you're an athlete, you're always an athlete. So I tell kids today, I went from being an Olympic athlete to a corporate athlete. Mm-hmm. So now I was like, okay, I'm going to get promoted as quick as I could get promoted, as fast as I could get promoted, and as high as I could within the period of time. So yep, I became MVP. I passed my test first try. I'm one of a few minority female president club bankers at Quicken Loans. Mm-hmm. You know, I have a 6-figure salary. I work really, really hard.
Come on, 6 figures. Come on.
And I tell kids, like, you know, like I didn't see this for myself. I did not apply 77 times to do mortgage banking, right? Because I wasn't a math person, and I thought that's what it is. But it's really about being a people person. So because I love to help people, that's why I'm really good at this job, because you feel that on the phone when you're having a conversation with me. I'm helping you to achieve the gold medal of having a key in your hand to own a home. And not many people can, you know, like afford to do that, much less. So if I help somebody find the way, that's a blessing. So I think about that every single phone call. I don't take it lightly. If I could nominate for my clients for awards, I nominate them. If I could send them gifts, I go ahead and do that. Like I do whatever it takes, because I'm not in this job for sales. I'm in this job to help people.
That's, oh my God. And my producer just wrapped me up in my ear, but which brings us to the end of our interview. And I just have a few questions. Now you say you do this for people. And what advice would you give to somebody who's looking for a job, somebody who's lost in the sauce, don't know exactly what to do with their lives or their career or their future, or who really wants something to go for, who don't feel like they have that movement of faith? What advice would you give them?
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Ultimately, I emailed people, I sent YouTube videos of myself, I Instagrammed #HireMe. I put myself out there because I knew that as many no's as they're going to be, eventually somebody's going to say yes. And if you don't ask, you're not going to have that opportunity. So I tell people to be persistent and be unapologetically persistent.
Oh, that's so amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Ms. Zara Northover. I thank you so much for coming on to the show. I really, really appreciate it. I want you guys to, again, that's why I said you need to look her up, follow her. This woman is a movement of faith. She has coined the phrase, and it's a statement of life, and it's just my personal opinion. Thank you guys for watching. God bless. I'll see you guys next time. I want to thank you all for watching another episode of the Emanuel Show. Here's a sneak peek of what's coming next week.
Plus size isn't always bad. Plus size is just mean push a little harder.
I like that. Push a little harder. This episode and many more like it, I ask you guys to watch and log on to www.theemanuelshow.com. We also ask you guys to follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, tweet us, and become a subscriber to our YouTube channel. I thank you all again for watching. Follow us on all of our social media. Like and comment on everything. We want to know your output. We want to know your feedback. Thanks again.